So look, we've been talking a lot about like a lot of various things, let's say recently, but local elections are coming up and goodness.
Is it my favorite day of the year? Talk about local elections day?
No, you there, boy. What day is it? Who stands for election in my local parish?
It's me at 3 different ages.
Go and get the biggest bin they've got.
No, so while I'm not going to talk about local elections necessarily, it is a good time to check in on the state of British party politics.
Where things are fine, presumably.
Yeah. Oh, well, more specifically, we're going to start with we're going to start zoomed in and then we're going to zoom out, which means because it's now an election season, that the current marching orders from Labour Central Command appear to be telling MPs born in 1977 to reminisce fondly about the Blitz spirit to appeal to voters born in 1957.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It's quite sort of Goodbye Lenin vibes, isn't it?
I'm, of course, talking about John Pierce, the MP for High Peak, who has written in an article in his local newspaper that he thinks that police officers should be able to punch children that they see.
Yeah, great. Why not?
Yeah.
Specifically because of his supposed fond memories of the police like hitting his dad.
Yeah, it's not even his memories. It's like his dad's he's using his dad's trauma for his own electoral. And I feel like that's the most disgusting thing of all. Use your own fucking trauma, right? You can't use someone else's to to try launder your reputation.
It's just making more explicit the stuff that they've all already been doing of I remember the kind of Blitz spirit or whatever. That's no longer plausible. So you have to do it vicariously. Well, I remember my dad's Blitz spirit, I guess, or now my granddad's. So now I remember my dad's post-war getting the shit kicked out of him by Dixon of Dock Green.
All the parliamentary candidates are sitting in the Assassin's Creed chair, reliving their memories of drinking cabbage water and getting beaten.
Memory of getting a clip round the ear from a cop who was drunk on duty.
Why not go further? Well, of course, in my day, you'd go to the gym palace, wouldn't you? And you'd come out and then the Bow Street runners would club you over the head. Of course, the policemen, they had a top hat then, so they could see over a wall if they stood on top of it. Yeah, it was better, wasn't it? It was. Everyone had cholera. No one died. It was all right.
Yeah, never did me any harm.
Yeah, people are too afraid of cholera now because of woke.
Yeah. So he says, I'm a bit old-fashioned in my view of the importance of the Bobby on the beat. This is, I would love it if those 4 words were just obliterated from the British mind.
A bit old-fashioned here, referring to 70 years ago?
Yeah, when was the last time we were doing this?
Yeah, it comes from my dad telling me stories about how the local police officer, who everyone knew by name, used to give him and his brother a clip round the ear hole and threatened to tell my mother they'd been up to no good. Yeah, he threatened to empty a clip into their ear hole. You didn't do
my
any harm.
dad grew up in the TV series Life on Mars, and I always admired DCI Gene Hunt's determination.
We all knew our local copper DCI Gene Hunt.
Yeah.
And he'd call you a right bloody tool rag.
They may not believe this, but they do believe that voters are this stupid, right? And will vote for the guy who is willing to indulge their kind of hazy, false memories of DCI Gene Hunt, kicking the shit out of them.
The thing is, the British public would vote for Gene Hunt if he was real,
Christ.
but they won't vote for a nerd pretending to have a false memory of Gene Hunt. That's too far of an abstraction. If Philip Glenister ran as Gene Hunt, then we'd be in big trouble.
Starmer coming out in a big camel coat.
Listen, you're nicked. Okay. Yeah. Don't the ladies of the Labour Party look lovely today?
This is hard labour.
Beautiful. Now, why don't you pop off down the shops and get me a pie? I'm rebranding.
Yeah, he's got to replace all the ministerial cars with Reliant Robins so people can fondly remember only fools and horses.
Yeah.
It is purely just remember when.
It's dying brain.
Yeah.
It's dying brain syndrome, right? When the entire country is on life support and it's getting the kind of big endorphin rush that you get, you know?
We're going to be talking mostly about just like the rush of DMT that appears to be illuminating all of the things it is officially possible to
Every
believe.
British politician is Joe Rogan now. They're all going to start doing BJJ.
Yeah, that's right. No, so this story always stuck with me for two reasons. First, I always found it funny that he was more worried about his mom finding out than getting in trouble with the police. And second, his total respect for the police because they were so embedded in the community, presumably beating random children.
Yeah.
It was a better time, I imagine. Haven't checked.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, and the police certainly didn't do anything bad.
No.
Yeah, remember when like you respected the bully?
Yeah.
Who definitely like isn't still bullying you right now. The sell that Labour have to do is to just be like everything's shit and it's going to get worse, right? And like they're having to try sell that, and I feel like the strategy that's being in place
It's
is
a tough
like
job.
was like well in one way it's not, because like, you know, if you're like good and charismatic, you can probably sell misery, right? Like there is enough evidence to be, you know, the sort of like stuff around like breakfast clubs and stuff, like, you know, or like feeding kids like while their parents go to work and stuff, and the amount of like shit that, you know, from like the usual places in terms of like, oh yeah, like it's fine for children to starve. I kind of just ate a Snickers bar before I came into school and I was fine, and now I like have a commentator job on LBC or whatever.
The police punched a cereal bar down my throat and then sent me off to school.
Had a fucking Snickers bar, son. We dreamed of a Snickers bar. We'd eat a bit of old shoe. We turned out all right.
Yeah, I tried to take a bite of the truncheon he was hitting me with and then went to school.
The big licorice truncheon that the cops used to carry in the
happy
50s.
days.
The thing is, you can sell misery, but you have to like be good at selling stuff. And the problem with like this Labour cohort is that they're bad at everything. They are bad at everything. And so like, no one's even asking them to improve any material conditions. Like this is like the easiest time for them. But the fact that they sort of lack so much charisma and they lack so much, like they lack the basic ability to speak to other people. And as a result, you just end up with really weird shit. Like I remember my dad's memories of being like molested by a police officer, and that was fun actually, and we should bring that back.
It's weird. It's from the top down as well, because Starmer invented this trying to relate to people via his dad thing. And now we're just kind of seeing this spread. So I'm excited to hear about what every Labour MP's dad likes.
My dad was more relatable than your dad. We have a three-wheeled Ferrari, but you can't see it. It's in the garage. My uncle was a Bobby on the beat at Nintendo. No, so we are, though. We've not been back on our side of the world for a little while, if only because our side of the world is part of the planet that's having its economic rules largely redrawn by what appears to be a Three Stooges situation in the White House I want to address very briefly before we move on.
Well, so for a minute, we thought the trade war had ended because Peter Navarro was out of the White House. And
For like 20 minutes.
Yes, like literally. I mean,
He went out to get a
physically,
sandwich.
Yeah, physically, he went out to get a sandwich. Someone spotted him in the like metro and sort of tweeted about it. And the other two guys, Besant and Lutnick, just like piled into Trump's office instantaneously while he was gone to be like, the economy's fucked. It's over.
Yeah. They just were like, hey, look at the dollar. Look at what's happening with the dollar. Look what's happening
Remember
with the
your
S&P
favorite
500.
game, United States dollar? You have so many of them.
Your high score on dollar is going to be like permanently compromised by this shit. And so, I mean, look, imagine you're in a three-way capitulating contest and your opponents are Trump and Starmer. You would give up. You would give up right away. I mean, look, I've been thinking about this for a while. But like Starmer he has put in years of incredible capitulating, right? He shows up every day. He shows up every day and he capitulates.
Yeah.
Right.
He's like a Stretch Armstrong. He's so flexible.
He is getting his numbers up there. He's dependable, right? But whereas Trump comes in and he does one of the greatest years of capitulating in the entire history of the sport, and it's been 3 months. So I don't even know who to put ahead in terms of the GOAT capitulator.
It's the kind of jujitsu where like it's a move that like you end up hurting yourself more, but it looks kind of cool. You think it looks kind of cool.
I think with Trump, it's kind of more impressive because Trump goes in, he plays the hard man. Whereas Starmer, he's going to capitulate. He starts off capitulating. The thing about Starmer is he's not even got anything to capitulate from because he never said he was going to, he's constantly moving backwards. He's never moved forward. Whereas Trump, he makes like a big swing and then he's like, actually, it turns out everything's fucked. Sorry, I didn't realize that turning the U.S. economy off. It's a bad idea, apparently, so we're not going to do that.
I didn't realize that we use dollars. I forgot about that.
I thought it was a New Zealand dollar.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, Lutnick and Besant locked Navarro in a supply closet or something, and then, or like, calling fake meetings for one another, dressing up as Bugs Bunny when he's a girl to distract one. Hilarious.
If like humanity survives this Trump administration, the book that gets written about all of this by Bob Woodward or whoever after the fact about how all of this went down is going to be incredible.
I mean, when Besant's out in 8 months, I'm very excited to read his tell-all book that will be denounced as, like anti-Trump direct on Truth Social. But it is endlessly amusing to me that, like, as you say, Nova, Lutnick and Besant cornered Trump while Navarro was hitchhiking back from being dumped in a cornfield somewhere.
When he was last seen drifting towards a pie on a windowsill.
Yeah.
Peter Navarro kicking over the suitcase from Old Boy.
Peter Navarro waking up on an ice floe that's been detached from the main glacier.